Dietech is a software program designed to provide you with the ability to track and manage residents' dietary needs. This includes meal patterns, tray tickets, nourishment labels, MDS weight triggers, tube feed needs, discharge summaries, and more. Dietech was designed using a committee of RDs, diet technicians, and food service directors from the long-term healthcare industry. In the following demonstration, we are going to see a demo of Dietech Plus, which is our middle version of the Dietech program. It starts with the features of the light version and expands. From the main menu, I'm going to click Dietech and then Resident Data Grid. Here you see a listing of all the residents sorted by last name. Briefly exploring the Resident Data Grid, you will see that you have easy access to the following: calorie protein needs, diet order history, intake studies, lab result histories, likes and dislikes, meal pattern, notes and assessments, problem goals and approaches, tube feed information, and weight history. Let's get started by adding a new resident to Dietech. Click the new icon in the upper left-hand corner, which loads the resident AdMod form. Within this form, you have the ability to enter some of the resident's demographics. So to get started, I set the admit date to August 11th, 2010. Resident ID to 1001. This resident's name is Joe Smith, and he is in the South Unit in room 12. His birth date is December 25th, 1900. He has a large frame size, and his prescriber or doctor is Dr. Feelgood. His height is 6 feet, and you will notice that as I enter the height, the IBW is automatically filled in. Moving on to the weight, he has an admissions weight of 200, with his current weight at 195, and a goal of 195 as well. As an option, you can upload the resident's picture. Let's click Save and move on to the resident's meal pattern. Clicking Meal Pattern on the left navigation bar brings up Joe Smith's meal pattern. On this one screen, you can configure all of the items, tray ticket notes, portion sizes, view nutritional needs, special needs, diet order, food allergies, special devices, feeding status, and chewing ability. Let's hover our mouse over the bottom slide-out panel to set Joe's diet order, which is NAS, LCS, puree. He is allergic to fish, requires a sip lid, his feeding status is extensive assistance, and his chewing ability is fair. Now let's move on to the side tab, which allows you to enter more information. Here we want a note on the lunch tray ticket to say, may have soft sandwich at lunch. And because we have used this note in the past, the note autocompletes for us without having to type in the full note. We also want the dinner tray ticket to show a portion size of small. On the Nutritional Needs tab, these values will be filled in based on the information you have entered in the resident's AdMod form and meal pattern form. Next, move to the Special Needs tab. This tab lists many common needs that a resident may have. Selecting one of these will print a vertical message in the background of the tray ticket. This serves as a reminder to your staff that this resident has certain needs that require extra attention. When we show the tray tickets later on in this demo, I will point out the vertical text for you. Joe can't have straws, so let's check no straws. Next, it is time to fill in the food, beverage, and nourishment items for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The information entered into this grid will print on the resident's ticket and nourishment labels. Jim wants 2% milk at all 3 meal times, so I start to type in the word milk. I see and select 2% milk. Select a size of 4 ounces and then click Set Item. The new item is now in the meal pattern for lunch. However, he wants it for all 3 meal times, plus as a nourishment at 2 p.m. Instead of doing it the way we just did, let's simply drag and drop it to the different times. Next, he wants ice cream for lunch each day. And also a half a cup of applesauce at dinner. Joe's meal pattern is all set. Click Save and let's move on to his likes and dislikes. Joe has a couple dislikes that we want to make sure appear on his trade ticket. To set those values, click Likes, Dislikes on the left navigation bar. Once this form loads, you will see three distinct areas: the Likes grid, the Dislikes grid, and the Item grid. So in our case, Joe dislikes beans and green beans. He likes broccoli and does not like any food that contains American cheese or fish. In other words, any food item classified with American cheese will now become a dislike. For example, say grilled cheese is on the menu. Because it was tagged with American cheese, the ticket will now display grilled cheese as a dislike. Click Save, and let's move on to the menu cycle setup. The Plus version of Dietech has a basic menu cycle which contains a list of items being served for a certain mealtime. Let's check it out. There are three different areas for this form. The top menu bar represents the current day and mealtime you are on. The right grid shows a list of possible items that can be on the menu. And the left grid is a list of items that are currently on the menu. You can specify which items are the primary meal for posting menu purposes. It is very easy to add items to the menu cycle. For example, let's find donut and drag and drop it over to the left grid. Check it as primary and uncheck toast. That's it. The item will now be used for dislike and posting menu purposes. Here you can see an example of a menu for the week, with a donut being in the main area and the toast being in the alternate. For a resident who receives alternate feeding such as G-tube or NG-tube, you can utilize the tube feed feature of the program. Click on it to load the form. Notice that all the tube feed needs currently have 0 values. First, you will need to choose the type of tube. Select gastrostomy in this case. Enter 16 French for the tube size. Select pump for the route, and enter PRN for the changed tube value. The next 4 items are used to calculate the tube feeding provisions. In line 1, enter the entire amount of formula that will be given to the resident. Next, select the formula that is being given, enter the percentage, and now the number of hours. This resident is receiving 120 cc's of flush every 4 hours, totaling to 720 cc's of flush. He is also receiving 60 cc's of fluids with his medications 3 times a day. Now take a look at the tube feeding provides area. All the calculations have been figured out for you. No more sitting there with the calculator trying to figure out the values. This resident is also receiving a multivitamin. Check the box representing this. Use the comment section to enter additional notes such as head of bed elevated at 45 degrees and hold feeding for emesis. For a printout of this, click Reports, then Tube Feed Info. Let's start to explore some of the reporting aspects of Dietech Plus. There are quite a few reports associated with the Plus program. Today we are going to look at the following reports: tray tickets, Cardex, beverage tally, nourishment labels, meal acceptance, nourishment acceptance, special devices, birthdays, food allergies, and the resident list. Let's get started with the tray tickets. There are 3 different types of tray ticket paper available: 6-part or 6 per page, 4-part or 4 per page, 3-part or 3 per page. Taking a look at the 6-part one first, here you can see that there are 6 tickets per page, and on the 4-part, 4 tickets per page, and finally on a 3-part, 3 tickets per page. The colors of all the text on the tray ticket can be controlled in the facility settings. Starting at the top of Joe's ticket, we see that he is in the South Unit in room 12, and that the tickets are for 9/14/2010. Joe's diet order is shown next: NAS, LCS, puree, along with his SIP lid, and that he's allergic to fish. One thing to point out here is that the program is designed to only show information if it is different than the norm. For example, if you look at Michelle O'Donnell's ticket, you will see that the word allergies is not listed at all and that today is her birthday, signified by the cake in the lower right-hand corner. If you recall, we set a special need for Joe of no straws. You can see the no straws warning printed vertically here. In this facility's case, they wanted all background text to be printed red to help it stand out. As we stated before, this can be changed to any color of your choice. Continuing on, we see the ice cream and the 4 ounces of milk, along with an image for spring. Dietech has over 50 different images that can be placed on the tray ticket for different seasons, holidays, or events. Both the residents and staff love them and look forward to seeing which one will be on the ticket for tomorrow. Joe's dislike is next. Although we added multiple dislikes to Joe, only beans show because it is on the menu for today, thus helping your staff focus on only the applicable dislikes. Dietech's tray tickets are designed to be simple, easy to read, and customized to your facility's preferences. Here you see the first page of the Cardex. It includes all of the information that was entered into the resident's profile area, along with the resident's current diet order and weight. On the next page you will see all of the information that was entered into Joe's meal pattern, including his portion size, food allergies, special devices, tray ticket notes, meal items, nourishments, nutritional needs, and dislikes. On the next page you will see Joe's notes. Notes can be added in 2 ways, manually or automatic. The 2 notes you see were automatically entered when we set his diet order and his initial weight. Next, let's check out the beverage total report. This report here will give you a beverage tally for your entire facility for all 3 meal times, allowing you to control how much the staff is preparing. This report can also be grouped by beverage temperature, meal time, and sets. Here you will see a set of nourishment labels based off of the resident's meal pattern of your facility. Next, let's move on to the meal acceptance report. This report can be printed out and distributed to your staff as a way of monitoring the food intakes using the key at the bottom. For example, if Joe consumed 75% of his salads on Monday morning, you would write in 3. And if he consumed 50% of his fluids, you would write in 2. Next, let's move on to the nourishment acceptance report. Here we see Joe at the top. As we did with the meal acceptance report, you can use a key at the top to fill in how much of his nourishments he consumed. For example, if he consumed 75% of his milk for each day, we could write in 3 going all the way across. It is easy to also get a listing of all the special devices needed. Here we see a listing of the special devices needed for this day, including Joe's sip lid. Ever wonder whose birthdays are coming up? Dietech will grab and produce a report for you in seconds. A food allergy report can be useful for food preparation. Here we see a listing of allergies that the current resident population has. Notice that Joe's fish allergy is shown. A resident list can be helpful for countless reasons. This report prints out a listing of all of the residents along with their unit, room number, diet order, and other resident information. As with all programs available at Prime Services, support is only a click away. Simply clicking Help, then Connect to Technician, a member of Prime support staff will be connected and assisting you in less than 30 seconds. Support is also offered via phone at 866-585-3344 or email at techsupport@primeservicesinc.com. In addition to the online documentation, we also offer both remote and on-site training. Thank you for taking the time to watch this informational video on Dietech Plus. If you have any questions or would like to schedule a virtual demonstration, please contact us at 866-585-3344 or visit us at www.dietechsoftware.com. Thanks for watching, and we hope you have a great day.